Hi friends, welcome to eNotebook. Now after voice, today we are starting with narration. Talking about the weightage, we get 27 questions in this topic in mains and around 10 to 12 questions in pre-exams. So a few rules and a bit of practice and you can take home all these marks. So let us start. So what is direct speech? Narration which is reported by some other person exactly in the words spoken by the speaker, which are put inside the inverted commas. For example, here we have a sentence, she said to me, comma, I will give you a gift. Now, the words which are spoken by the speaker are put inside the inverted commas. This is the form of direct speech. Now, direct speech has two parts. The part that is before comma is known as reporting verb, while what is put inside the comma, inverted commas, is called reported speech. To make this sentence into indirect sentence, we make few changes. But what is indirect speech? The kind of narration which is reported by some other person using conjunctions, making necessary changes in the verbs and pronouns of the reported speech is known as indirect speech. For example, here is the indirect form of this sentence. She told me that she would give me a gift. What are the changes? Please note down that in indirect speech we don't have inverted commas and there is no comma as well. Also, the reporting verb that is said to me has been changed to told me. And if you note down, there are changes in the pronouns as well. I becomes she. Now, to learn this, we have few rules. So, let us start with the rules. Rule number 1. The inverted commas used in direct narration are removed in indirect form. Second, when the reporting verb is in the present or future tense, there is no change in the verb of the reported speech. Now, this is the most important rule here. Let me explain. When the reporting verb, that is, the part that is before comma, is in present tense or future tense, then what comes inside the comma, there is no change in the tense of this part. Let's take an example for this. For example, here we have, he says, Vikas is angry. Now this is the reported verb and this is the reported speech. What does the rule say? If the reporting verb is present tense or it is future tense, in the indirect form, we don't make any change in the tense of this part. That is the reported speech. So, the indirect form will be, he says, we didn't change it. We add a that to make the continuation of the sentence. He says that Vikas is angry. There was no change in the tense. Why? Because the reporting verb was present tense here. Now, what if the verb is in future tense? That is, for example here, Ved will say, I am a hero. Now, the indirect form of this will be, Ved will say that he is a hero. Note down that since this was in future tense, we didn't make any change in the tense here. We just added that. This is the most important rule. Next, please take a note of these words which are used in direct form. They are to be changed to these forms in indirect speech. So, now becomes then, ago becomes before, today, that day, tomorrow, the next day, yesterday, the previous day, last night, the previous night, next month, the following month, the day before yesterday, 2 days before, the day after tomorrow, in 2 days time, here becomes there, this week becomes that week. Now let us look how to use them. Here we have an example. He said, I shall leave Chennai tomorrow. Please note down that in the indirect form, we change tomorrow to the next day. But here we have exception. Now exceptions are the favorites of exam makers. So please note down this example. This morning, he said, I shall leave Chennai tomorrow. But in the indirect form, tomorrow is retained. Why is this so? That is because the same day is being talked about. Now, when we are talking about the same day, we don't change the time expression. It remains the same. when the reporting verb is in the past tense, a few changes take place in the tense of the verbs of the reported speech. For example, since this was in past tense, we changed the tense of the reported speech. Even here, we changed the tense of the reported speech because the reporting verb was not in present or future tense, it was in past tense. Now we look at the changes to be made to convert a direct sentence into indirect sentence. The first one here is changes in the pronoun. Now, if in the reported speech, the pronoun is the first person, that is, for example, I, then in the indirect form, it has to be changed according to the subject of the reporting verb. What is the subject of the reporting verb here? She. So in indirect form, this I also becomes she. She told me that she was unwell. Please focus only on the pronouns now. If in the reported speech we have second person, then change it to the object of the reporting verb. For example, he said to his mother, "Will you give me breakfast?" Here the object is mother. So in the indirect form, we write it this way. He asked his mother if she would give him breakfast. Here the objective form of mother is she. So we changed you or the second person to the object of the reporting verb. Next, if in the reporting speech we have third person, that is she, he, they or if, then there is no change in the pronoun in the indirect form. For example, I said to her, "He will not come," becomes I told her that he would not come. We did not make any changes in the pronoun because this was the third person. After that comes something which is extremely important in changing the narration, that is the tense. Now note down, the most important thing is this change of tense has to be made only if the reporting verb is in past tense. If it is in future or present, we don't make any changes in the reported speech. Okay, you'll understand better when we see examples, but for now, please remember that if here you see that reporting verb is in past, then the changes that are to be made in the reporting speech is, if it is in simple present tense, it becomes simple past tense. Present continuous tense has to be changed to past continuous tense. Present perfect tense has to be changed to past perfect tense. Present perfect continuous tense will be changed to past perfect continuous tense. Let us look at the examples. The first example is, he said, "I love my wife." To convert this into indirect form, the first thing that we note is that this reporting verb is in past tense. That means the tense has to be changed here. Now this is a sentence in simple present. So this has to be changed into simple past. What are the other changes that we make? We add that instead of this comma and we change the pronoun. Here this is first person, so we change it according to the subject of the reporting verb, that is he. So the indirect form becomes, he said that he loved his wife. Next one here is, Ruchi said, "I am going to college." Again we see that said is in past tense, so we have to change the tense here in the reported speech. This is present continuous, so we change it to past continuous and we add that here and the answer becomes, Ruchi said that she was going to college. Note the change in the pronoun as well. The third example here is, she said, "I have completed my work." Now since we have here, this sentence or the reported speech is in present perfect tense. And this has to be changed to past perfect while changing the narration. We add that again and we change the pronoun to the subject of the reporting verb, that is she. And the answer becomes, she said that she have becomes had. She had completed her work. Here's another example. They said, we have been living in America since 2012. Here we add that. First thing to be done, we has to be changed to the subject of the reporting verb, that is they. And note the tense of this reported speech. It is present perfect continuous tense. So this has to be changed to past perfect continuous. And the answer becomes, they said that they have becomes had here. They had been living in America since 2012. In case the reported speech is in past tense, how do we make the changes in the tense? If it is simple past, it becomes past perfect. If it is past continuous, it becomes past perfect continuous. But if it is past perfect or if it is past perfect continuous, no changes are made in the tense. Let's learn with the examples. The first sentence for you is, he said, I started a job. In this, we note down that in the reporting verb, we have past tense here. That means we have to make changes in this reported speech. Now, this sentence is in simple past. So, this has to be changed to past perfect. We add that here and change in pronoun. I becomes he in the indirect speech, and the answer is, he said that he had started a job. That's how we convert the tense. I started a job becomes he had started, because we need to change simple past into past perfect. The next sentence is, she said, I was not cooking. Again, we see that this is simple past. That means we need to change the tense of the reported speech. How do we make the changes? We add that. We change the pronoun to she. And this, I was not cooking, is simple past continuous. We make it past perfect continuous. And the answer is, she said that she had not been cooking. The next one for you is, she said, I had not passed the exam. Now this, even though here we have past tense, that means we'll think that we need to make changes in the tense. But note, what is the tense here? The tense is past perfect. And in the rules, we learned that no change has to be made in the tense if the reported speech is in past perfect. So we definitely add that here, and we have to change the pronoun to she, but we don't make any change in the tense. So the answer is, she said that she had not passed the exam. Now for future tense sentences, the rules are quite simple. In the direct form, if will is used, we change it to would. Will be changes to would be, will have changes to would have, and will have been changes to would have been. Quickly looking at the examples, she said, I will go to Delhi becomes, she said that she would go to Delhi. Next one, she said, I will be doing my work. Here again, since reported verb is in past tense, we know we need to make changes here. What is the tense here? I will be doing my work. Future, where will is used. So in indirect form, we change this will to would and add that here, and we change the pronoun as well. So this becomes, he said that he would be doing his work. Next sentence is, Amar said, I will have done it. How do we change this? It's an easy one. Since this is past here, we know we need to make changes here. We see will, we immediately change this to would. Here, we change it according to the subject of the reported verb, that we make it he, and we add that here, and the sentence becomes, Amar said that he would have done it. Alright, next we look at modal containing sentences. What are modals? Could, can, may, might, etc. How do we change these? Looking at this example, we have he said, I can drive a car. Now nothing has to be done here. After you see that the reported verb is in past tense, we know we need to make changes. But what change? The modal has to be changed. Can changes to could here. And we write the sentence as it is. In case of interrogative sentences, how do we convert the narration? Let us see with an example. Now, interrogative sentences are the questioning sentences. Here we have, father said to me, do you know where is my watch? Here we know that we have past here. That means we need to make changes in this. Now, remember that this is the direct form. In indirect form of interrogative sentences, we don't have this question mark. So how do we write this? Father said to me. The verb changes a bit and we write it as asked me. Father asked me. This is just to make a continuous sentence since we don't have any comma in the indirect speech. So father asked me. Here this is in simple present tense. This changes to past tense. It becomes, since this is an inquiry kind of question, we change it to father asked me if you becomes the, since you is a second person, we change this to the object of the reported verb, that is me. The objective form of me is I. So it becomes father asked me if I, no becomes new to convert simple present into simple past. Father asked me if I knew where his watch was. That's it. This is the indirect form. Next we have optative sentences. Optative sentences are those which show prayer or wish. For example, Avinash said, may God pardon me. Now this is a kind of wish. So how do we change it? To indirect form, we write Avinash said. Since this is past, we have to change the tense here. So since this is a kind of prayer, we change the verb as well to Avinash prayed. We insert that here. May has to become might. It's a modal. May becomes might. God might pardon. Me becomes him. That is, Avinash prayed that God might pardon him. So these were the rules to change direct form into indirect form. Thank you. If you like the video, please hit the like button, comment and share it with your friends. Also don't forget to subscribe for all our future videos.